Okay, now let's look at this practical, determining the angle of minimum deviation of a prism using prism by observing the variation of deviation of a ray caused by the prism. Okay, so that's what we are going to look at now. Right. So yeah. Here, what we do is we just take a prism, keep it on a table. Okay, and then you know this practical. This might be this. Some of you all might have done this in orders as well. You keep a pin here and a pin here. Okay? And then, like, if you observe these two pins from here using your eye, what actually happens is a light ray somewhere from the sun or from a certain light bulb, it will come and like hit these rays, hit these pins, sorry, right? And then that light will get reflected and a light ray will be created. Okay, light ray will be created. And due to this prism, it will be refracted up to some extent. Somehow it will be refracted. And then what happens? It will finally reach your eye like this. So you will be able to reach the two pins. Okay, you will be able to reach the two pins. What you should do is, right, you should take different angles. See, this should be done actually practically. Okay, I can just explain it. You take, give the pins here and take one angle. Let's say it is 30 degrees, the incident. And then you keep the eye accordingly. You move the eye from here to here and you check at which point you get the two pins exactly. Okay, and then you can place the two pins like this. I mean, like you can take another two pins. Okay, you can take another two pins, and by looking at this directly, right, you can place those two pins such that they become in line with each other. Such that they become in line with each other. Okay, and then you can take the eye and you can draw a line like this. You will see that it will be exactly a beautiful line which will be showing the refraction of the prism. Okay, so this is what I said for one angle. Let's say 30 degrees. Okay, you can do this. You can arrange the pins such that it makes 30 with the normal at a certain point, and then look from this side and keep the two pins here. Okay, and likewise you can do for several angles. You can do for 40, 50, right? 45, 55. Likewise you can do for several angles, right? So let's say like this. uh, so you get a prism. Okay, and this is the point. Okay, so light ray comes like this, it gets deviated like this, and now it's dense to rare, so it will again get deviated, right? I mean, it comes from dense to rare, so it should bend away from the normal, so it will go like this. Okay, so you can, what you can do is, let's say you did the thing for I is equal to 30. When I is equal to 30, you can get a certain deviation angle. Okay, when I is equal to 30, you can get a certain deviation angle. What is called a deviation angle? It's something like this. This is the initial ray. Okay, look at this carefully. This is the initial ray, which comes down like this. Okay, so this is our final ray. Final ray. We now have the initial ray and we now have the final ray as well. Okay, it might be making an angle, let's say theta, like this. Let's say theta. So this is called the angle of deviation. Okay, so what you can do is, let's say you took 30 degrees incidence angle, and then you kept the prism, you drew the diagram. Okay, what you do is you just mark this line and you mark this line. Then you take the prism out and then you like join this line. Likewise, by drawing geometric diagrams, you can take the deviation angles using a protractor. Okay, for let's say for 30, you get a deviation angle 15 degrees. Likewise, for 40, you can take. Likewise, for 45, 55, you can take. Okay, so in this practical, what we are basically doing is determining the angle of minimum deviation. Okay, now if the incident angle is 30, there might be a certain deviation. If it is 40, there might be a certain deviation. Okay, but the thing is, at one point, you will get the minimum deviation. Okay, this is how the graph goes. Right, this is how you draw the graph. When we, let's say the incidence angle is 10, you will have a very high deviation. When the incident angle is 20, you will have a somewhat high deviation. But when the incident angle is somewhere close to 45, you will have the minimum deviation. And after you pass 45, it will again increase. Okay? This decreases. At the middle, it will be minimum and then it will increase. This is how the angle of deviation works, okay? How it varies, actually, right? Do you understand that? This is how it varies. Okay. So this is a procedure. You can read it, right? It's the same thing. Okay. Then we can, the practical is just simply showing that we can calculate the angle of minimum deviation using this technique. Okay. That's it. Right. There are no other important points to discuss in this practical. Okay. You should remember these points and the way of doing the practical. Okay. And in the questions, like this is not asked frequently in past paper questions. That's why I couldn't find some points. But if you find some points from other resources, like study them, okay, in books, textbooks, in such notes, likewise, just study them. They are all important, right? Okay. Then this is the end of that practical.